Apparently, Baylor softball has added another player. I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. I'm going to just say this up front. It is a stud type of player, to say the least. It is Southeastern Louisiana right-handed pitcher Hallie Burns. She does bat right-handed, by the way. She is 5'3" tall. She would be a redshirt junior next year, so 2 years of eligibility. She started her career at Ole Miss. She redshirted in 2024. So even with the 5'5", it's just like 2 more years. And not like if she was a true junior, that would have been 3 years. Just to let you know. She is from Boonville, Mississippi. She attended Boonville High School. And I will go over her high school accolades before going into the numbers for the last 2 years at Southeastern Louisiana. She was a 4-year letter winner in high school, named to the Clarion Ledger Dandy Dozen in 2022. She was like Mississippi Player of the Year and first team All-State honors from Max Preps in 2022. Named 3A Pitcher of the Year after posting a .34 ERA and 294 strikeouts in 163 innings. As a junior, she did help her high school team to 2 consecutive state titles, earning 3A MVP honors after tossing a no-hitter and hitting a home run in the championship game. Also received first team All-State honors from the Clarion Ledger and second team All-American laurels from Max Preps. Was tabbed as the Daily Journal Mississippi Player of the Year in 2022, 21, and 2022. Obviously, she guided them to the first title and obviously back-to-back. And the first one was as a sophomore, by the way. She posted a .420 batting average and tallied 337 strikeouts, 169 innings in a circle. Obviously, her freshman season was canceled due to the pandemic. She was a senior class president and National Honor Society president. 2022 homecoming queen by her peers. A member of FCA Art Club and the Math and Science Club and multi-sport athlete. She led her in basketball for 4 years as well and was named to the All-State team in 2022. And her club team in softball, by the way, was the Mississippi Bolts. Without further ado, I will go over the numbers. And this is a Southeastern Louisiana squad, by the way, that went to back-to-back regionals in her time there. You got to keep that in mind. So it's not like she was the number one pitcher on a bad team. Oh, no. I mean, they won 50 games out of 66 in 2025. And in last year, 46 games in 16 of those. In fact, in 2025, they were the team that eliminated LSU from the regional. Believe it or not. Yeah, you heard me correctly about that. And obviously, the Southeastern Louisiana softball head coach did leave. To take an associate head coach position at Texas. That was on like June 17th, by the way. So that does explain a little bit on why she entered the transfer portal. And she literally entered the transfer portal on Monday. And she did say, like in her Twitter AKX post, due to unforeseen circumstances, I have decided to enter the transfer portal. This was the hardest decision I have ever had to make, and I am forever in debt to Southeastern Louisiana softball, and I am grateful for all the memories I made there. The past 2 years were a dream. Now I will go over the numbers here without further ado. In 2025, she appeared in 37 games, 14 of those starts, 102 and 2/3 innings, 12-6 in terms of win-loss record, 2.66 ERA. She did have 3 complete games, 1-4 in shutouts, no saves, 81 hits, 16 of those were doubles, 7 triples, 5 home runs, 220 batting average against, 46 runs, but 39 were earned. 61 strikeouts, 56 bases on balls, 2 wild pitches, 15 hit by pitch. Granted, that number did need to go down. 0 balks, 10 sacrifice flies allowed, 9 sacrifice hits allowed. Now, in terms of fielding percentage, 909, as in 0.909. And you know the goal is like 1.000. Yeah, 1 and then decimal point and 3 zeros. 4 putouts, 6 assisted, 1 error. Now, this past year, I will say her ERA got better. 1.68 in 112 and 2/3 innings, 20-5 in terms of the win-loss record, 36 appearances, 15 of those were starts. Yeah, that was the second most on the team. She did have 1 complete game, 1-9 in shutouts, and 2 saves. Now, 66 hits, 7 were doubles, 2 were triples, 9 were home runs. The batting average against, .168. 33 runs, but 27 were earned. She improved that strikeout to walk ratio. 31 bases on balls, 107 strikeouts. That's a big jump from her first time playing consistently to this past year. 7 wild pitches, and you know that number needs to go. That probably does need to go down a little bit. 12 hit by pitch, and granted that number that did improve. There's no shadow of a doubt, but you know what? You want that number to be down closest to 0 as much as you can. 0 balks, 1 sacrifice fly allowed, 5 sacrifice hits allowed. Now, in terms of fielding, .933, 5 putouts, 9 assisted, 1 error. I am sure that she had plenty of options when she entered the transfer portal. This is what I consider a steal of a pickup. You know what this does for Baylor softball right here? It increased the depth to 6 or 7 pitchers, depending on Raylan Van Zee. If she's really going to be a pitcher or if she's going to be a utility player. So either way, you got flexibility there. And this does mean 3 or 4 number 1 pitchers at 3 different programs that occurred from last season. And this is depending on what you think of Cambry Krager. She was a number 1 pitcher at times. You cannot deny that. And obviously, Payne Tanner became the number 1 pitcher once Cambry couldn't pitch anymore because of dealing with arm soreness. Yeah, crazy, I know. I mean, you got Madison Buster from Northwestern State, #1 pitcher. You got your one or two coming back, and now you got this one. Seriously. And it's not even including Sadie Ross returning, Raylan Van Zee coming in. Then you get a former JUCO All-American, Hallie Crawford, who was actually the same teammate as Hallie Burns. Yeah, they were both at Southeastern Louisiana last year. I don't know about throwing the term elite pitching staff, but you cannot deny this is a very solid and deep pitching staff, when healthy, of course. And if you really think it's elite, put it in the comments below. I just have a hard time saying elite to everything, but you cannot deny the quality of pitching, and it's going to increase the competition level for the weekend for the week series in the weekends. You cannot deny that. Now you have more than enough options. It's a rather good problem to have. And I have to think this is one of the deeper, quality-wise, in terms of pitching, in a while here. I have to think so. Now, I don't know if there really is another spot or not. I don't know. But if there was one, it's got to have to not be a pitcher anymore. You're definitely loaded at pitcher. I mean, quality-wise. And then you bring in, whether it's transfers, a freshman, and returners. You cannot deny what they got in pitching right now. I don't know about saying up with Texas Tech and league in terms of pitching. I don't know about that. But you got to admit, the pitching is got to be really solid next year. And in order to win a lot of games, you got to have good pitching consistently. And you got that here. And this way, you don't have to overuse on pitchers. And you don't have to rush them back from injuries so quickly. I mean, hopefully Camry Crager does get healthier. Hopefully she does. And this way you don't have to go 15 innings with one pitcher in a game. Again, that way you go with the fresh pitcher in that type of situation. But you get the point. If there was such a spot opening, it's got to not be a pitcher anymore. It's got to be like a position player or even a utility player. But you get the point. And like I said earlier, when Presley Pylon signed with Baylor, they do have a freshman coming in that hit double-digit home runs last year out of the high school ranks, and Brooke Wooden. So maybe they feel good enough offensively there. And granted, I know the offense has to help the pitching at the very end of the day. You could have all the pitching you want, but you got to have the offense to give less pressure on those pitchers. And this way you have so much more depth, quality-wise. And this depth is going to only help. Not just in terms of the Big 12, but nationally. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 8 unsubscribed scores, ultimate goals, 1,000 more. So make money with those scores. Like video, comment video, really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see this, and the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching and unsubscribe, hit subscribe button for notification bell as well. And you got to keep in mind that Emerson Leckler was really good out of high school too. This is beside Raylan Van Zee, who is a top 50 national player in terms of the high school ranks here. You got depth at pitcher now. Now, the biggest thing is the offense does need to improve, and it's a good problem to have, honestly, because if you could have the pitching that could help, it's going to provide less pressure on those hitters too. So it's kind of like a best of both worlds situation, and obviously the defense has to be solid too. Because it's important to be really good on defense to win games too.